Hey everyone, this is Ryan B with Practical Forex Trading. This is your weekly analysis for the pound dollar. So the Great British Pound versus the US dollar. It is April 19th, 2020. Happy to be back after taking last week off for the Easter holiday. Okay, uh, my sentiment long term is bearish. The reason I say long term is because this is the daily chart, right? If we look at the weekly chart, it's really what I'm going off of. I use weekly as my main barometer. We do see a big bounce here, right? Of course, we saw the big bounce. The last few weeks have been super volatile, but we did see last week's price action, even though it was a bullish candle, did close below the 25.50 mark. We are still moving above, below the fast weekly moving average, so both of those are bearish sell signals. We look at this descending price triangle, right? So we go back, and this goes back multi-year, and we see recently that price really honored these trend lines. I say honored because they're quite exact. If you look at the bodies of these candles, back in October of 2019, they all finished below this line, broke above. Then recently, they rested on top. Big sell-off ensued, bullish rally, came back up, touched the underside. So, what happens this week is very important. Because if price does have a bullish candle that moves through this resistance, then our scenario will change a little bit. But until that happens, overall, long-term bearish. I think even if we get the test of those tops, it'll be another sell-off. Let's go ahead and look at our daily. So we see here, right. So short term, we are moving above the fast daily moving average, which is bullish. However, this was our first kind of rejection from the zone. I think if we do have another rally, we're going to see another quick rejection happening. So let's go ahead and add our pivot points. 2369, 123.69. That's going to be our weekly pivot. That's down here. Price moving above the weekly pivot. Go ahead and make my pivot yellow. So pivots not really support and resistance. You don't exactly want to use them for that, but price does typically visit that at some point during the week. R1 25.72. So right about this line we talked about. So let's go ahead and move it up. There you go. That's our R1. If price does move up, it doesn't have a lot of room before our first wave of selling hits. So if you think about resistance as traders waiting to sell, right? That's our first zone. Makes sense. That was our last high. Let me put it right there. Okay. R2, 126.91. So that's just below the 7. So right here, and actually just take this line, move it down. Boom, there you go, R2. So price could go up, but as you see, there's a lot of congestions. There's actually two places where you're probably going to find a lot of sell orders waiting. Because of this big sell-off, we did get the retrace we wanted to. Looks like it went all the way up to like the 78 Fibonacci line. And price now it's just going to kind of move sideways for a bit, and then we'll see the sell-off ensue. Kind of like gravity, right? Slowly pulling down. We can see another scenario where price stays above the pivot before moving down. If R1 and R2 are broken, R3 is at 130.12. All the way up here. And that makes sense. That's our last big set of highs. Let me change that to blue. Okay. That's R3. Now, if and when we get the sell-off, 122.50 is our first support. So 122.50 right there, S1. Oops. There we go. And I guess, if price goes below the pivot and it visits S1, that's fine. It makes me a little bit leery this week for trading because it looks like it could be set for some sideways range trading. We saw this in the euro too. Um, so one thing to be considerate of, 120.47 is S2. The last few weeks, we've been seeing crazy swings, right? That doesn't last forever. So what'll happen is after that, then price kind of consolidates, moves sideways. What you need to do then is look in the intraday trends. Let's go ahead and look at the 4 hour. So if we thought that was the case, that price might this week might just move between here and here, and you might just want to think about, you know, your sells along the R1 2572, but don't expect too much out of it. Probably seeing the basement, you know, right around here. So a couple hundred pips, not too bad. And the pound has no problem swinging like that, but I don't know if we'll see much more this week. Um, it really depends. So I haven't looked at the economic calendar yet to see what data releases are coming out. That would probably be the determining factor. 117.25. Here we go. If S2 is broken, that would be S3 in our next weekly target. Okay, there we go. Pound dollar. Well, I got one more video to record this week. It's going to be pound yen. Make sure you check that out. Everyone have a great week. Hope you make lots of pips. Okay, we'll talk soon.